Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Orc. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thought streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And Orc had wanted me to do a commentary on this documentary called Death by MetaL. And to be honest, I don't really know much about this. I don't know much about this documentary. I don't know even who it's about and such. It says it came out 2016. And it says it's a documentary about Chuck Schuldiner and his musical journey that started as a preteen and ended up with his passing in 2001. I guess it was a band called Death. Boundary-crushing interpretation of heavy metal. I've never heard of this band. I've never heard of this guy. So we'll see how this goes. But thanks once again, Orc, and thanks to people out there who have sent in requests. And 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Alright. Sitting by the listening tree here. Mental pictures, okay. Hopefully I don't go mental watching this. Death isn't the first name in death metal for nothing. No shit. You know it's serious because the cross is upside down. So you know it's super serious. I like the way this is edited, pretty cool. It's pushing into this like artwork and showing stage footage. Was I was caught on a old school camcorder. Okay. For a second, it almost reminded me of Faces of Death. I don't know why. Rick Ross, Death, The End, Massacre. What names?
Everybody heard the music because when he started the band Mantis, it started coming from the garage, and my parents were trying to figure out ways to soundproof the garage and everything else.
Parents going, what the fuck is that sound? Turn that shit off.
Chuck had a really great infrastructure in terms of his support from his mom, Jen, and she allowed him to follow his dream to be a musician, no matter where it took him. Whether that meant hailing him out of Canada when things didn't work out with his slaughter line, or whether that meant putting off the dream halfway across the country to join the band in Japan. They were pretty much, there were times they would go over for dinner, and it's always a family dinner. Mom would say, oh, what's going on? Well, where are you staying? Oh, no, come stay with us. That kind of thing. And that's after my son Frank had passed away. So to me, that was great. You know, they're all about the same age. Great.
Yeah, I never heard of this guy. I never heard of this band, so I wonder what. Hopefully, we'll find out what makes him a reason for doing a documentary on in the first place about. Tolerate it. Well, that's one way to put it. Well, this some parents won't even give you that much courtesy. Some parents be like, "Fuck this shit. What are you doing? Get this bullshit out of my face." Iron Maiden. I believe there's an Iron Maiden documentary coming out. I don't know when, but I think there is a Iron Maiden documentary coming out. If it's not out now, then soon. Florida death metal band. Just when you think of death metal, you think of Florida. I mean, I'm not in the metal where it's like, yeah. I mean, I do like. I guess I'm more into rock like AC/DC, Metallica, Megadeth, or just rock like Aerosmith, Bon Jovi type of thing, or such. Black Sabbath. Yeah, I like that stuff. Germ warfare. I mean, hey, I mean that could be yeah. Not a bad title for a song like that. Germ warfare sounds better enough. When interviewing the mom, the audio doesn't seem as strong as some of the others interviews. Like the interview with her seems a lot more clearer. And in the other interviews, they seem like much more clearer. But then with it's the guy's mom, it's the audio seems a bit rough. Damn, what a goatee or beard or how not goatee? It'd be a I guess a beard, but separate like one here, and nothing in the middle. Owner rock and roll heaven. Did you say one of his bands is Autopsy? There you go. Scream bloody gore. See, I'm not into that music. You're about to die. Who's about to die? Who's about to die? Did you say anything? You don't know what the fuck you're saying? Yeah, who's about to die? Who's about to die? Kid from Florida and a kid still in high school. Stand by me, the metal years. For band and merchandising for Andre. Anyway, when people seem like that, I can't tell what the fuck they're saying. You nodded there, you know. You're not a joint. You're never joint. Combat. Hey, simple name. Simple enough of a name for something. You're Combat. So I'm not saying much. I just don't really have much to. I'm not familiar with the death metal circuit. Well, yeah, I didn't grow with that kind of music. Not really into that kind of. Like, death metal is not my cup of tea. Some good guitar work, I'll give you that. It's a very frenetic, fast paced guitar work. Their mutilating debut album. At last, real death metal. Scream bloody gore. I like the artwork. Has an EC comic style vibe to it. Oh no.
It just turned into this thing, just
You never put in the sun. Warp the shit out of it.
I think they only gave us one because Chuck was living with me and I fucking ruined it, so Steve did learn the set. We jammed it the same. Had the set ready to go and all that, and Chuck said, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to Florida and visit my folks." There for a while, and some time went by. Well, actually, I think quite a bit of time went by, like months between
And yeah,
sets.
I know I apologize. That was that. I decided to just watch a guy silently watch him, but it's like I don't really know what to say. It's a documentary.
Completely in depth still.
I'm trying to listen to what they're saying so I don't miss information.
Back in California,
I know nothing about these guys, so I don't have any history about
bumped, like
this band or
it was
anything.
yeah, he's like, well, if you want to come move out here, just keep going and like members and just keep moving forward.
Rocky and Milwaukee, okay. Well, it's nice that there was someone there with a camcorder back to the day, recording the whole show. And the lead guy was buff too. I saw there was some muscles on those damn arms.
I remember being in the McDonald's next door to Peter's auditorium, which is where this place was at. These kids were talking about the mutilation. These kids, they were just little kids just like me, and they were like, they couldn't wait to see death and talk about the mutilation. Jack had been in contact with someone in combat who said we had this new act, and the record had only been out a short time. And I heard the record, literally just one or two songs, and didn't pay much attention. So I stood in front of the stage and I watched all these other standard thrash and bands play. And then when Death came on, there was only sort of a exclamation. And I remember when Death played, one thing I remember about Shock was just us standing really stiff, still. When he opened his mouth and those big screams, his tongue was stuck out the way, it just bit this like. So I was backstage meeting people, talking to people, and I eventually made my way over and
So he's a streamer. It's just a,
right, manager in New York. I live here in Milwaukee. He had a card that said Death
for those that
Row,
not follow along, he was talking about how
and
he was streaming during
called
the
me up and came to
the
the show,
show.
and
I just for that guy, it was effective scream.
and that was like the first real tour. We came up that far and played shows on the way and on the way back. We started rehearsing more and more after that Milwaukee Metal Fest, and when word came down that we had a tour lined up, we already started writing
Does
songs,
everyone want their
and Chuck was
turn
writing
to
songs to practice
crowd
and
surf?
songs
The guy just got up there just to go back on and
out of
crowd surf.
already written and just playing the things that we
Never
wanted to
been
play.
to a concert myself.
Doing
I was at an outside concert where it was like a little fest. There was like multiple bands, but my ears are just too sensitive that I just couldn't handle it. So I knew I would never be able to handle an indoor concert. My ears would just be just not able to handle it. So I never felt the need to go to a concert. There's a lot of times I would hear the music, like if you watch like live shows or live albums, and I would always prefer the more produced version. Can't think of anything that I like the live version more. It's only been 20 minutes? My god. I mean, not a slight against it. It feels like it's been 40 minutes. I'm surprised it's only been 20 minutes. And there's still 86 minutes left. Jesus. Oh, that's not good. Usually you want the opposite, but God, these fucking band names: autopsy, leprosy. Fuck. What's this? Cum dumpster, butt puddler, the butt burglar. Like what the fuck are these band names? Dysentery. Sanctuary. Born dead into this world. So I couldn't get the rest of the lyrics there. Yeah, definitely commend the guitar work. Very nice. Oh shit, sorry. So equal billing does not mean co-headlining.
wording was just simply that death would be billed at the same percentage of space or whatever. Clearly, Dark Angel was more well known than Death, and that well more Death did, which implied that Dark Angel really was the head of the thing.
To me, I'm like, whatever. We're on tour.
I just remember an incident over the transporters, and they wanted Bill to set up in front of the riser, and Gene set up on the riser, and then one was rolling their eyes.
To me, it's starting to get rather when Chuck, probably for the 10th time, said, "I'm leaving the tour. This time our tour managers. We don't want to be here. We don't want to keep you."
So he turned around and wherever they were, whatever.
I know people wonder why don't you just put the headphones on since you hear me fumbling about. Because I have a bad. This ear's down a bit bad from too much headphone usage, so I don't really use headphones too much unless use them as speakers. I'm getting old. I'm getting too old. Put out the pasture soon.
That was kind of the pattern. Walking through
I apologize that I'm being very boring in this. It's just I don't know what to say. I don't know. It's kind of just talking heads upon talking heads on the subject matter I'm not too familiar with. I have no history. Again, rock, AC/DC, stuff like that, or what I would see in movies. Legion of Doom, Hawking Animal? No, it's a different one. Sick man still in hospital. Oh, I was trying to read it.
I was on the road, coming from
Right here, and the guy pretty much burp.
but I didn't go the normal way that I would, which was south of Great Lakes. It was straight across on the interstate. I actually went to Toronto because I wanted to go to the relative to the office. And it was in Toronto that I was at a
God, with all due respect, this just drags for me. I'm not trying to be rude. This just drags.
right away from that same vehicle. Eric could give me a call. I was in New Jersey at the time.
Like, seriously, it seems like it's been longer than
Chuck called me first and asked me if I had a guitar.
almost 30 minutes.
I said yes. Because I knew why he was asking me. I'm out hanging out. I'm not practicing this stuff. Rick was very gentle. It was almost as if he knew the call was going to come. Now, I don't know if he sensed that Chuck was going in a new direction. I assume that's what I was expecting him to. So I help stand man.
Chuck, I think his vision was always evolving. And part of the problem was that people that needed to execute at one point in the band aren't the same people that used to execute at the end.
And so we had this tour of Mexico that we had to do, and we were without a second guitar player.
So we had, been going up there, so there was this kind of relationship. We had a certain ability on our instruments. You could see we were very serious about practicing our instruments together. And so Paul kind of first Paul,
guess here's Plan B.
I had met James at a club in Tampa, so when time came to try to look for a guitar player, I ran into James at the shredder.
James is very quintessential melody and
Hmm.
jam person. The thing is, anybody else who plays like James on death metal records at that point just had these great, great feels for how a solo should be.
It really worked for where Death was going with the material. So this was the right guy put him on the right tour.
Jesus, what a caricature. Goddamn. Got the money and all.
At first,
You have been healed. No, you haven't.
I was 15 then, I was a fan of heavy. Like I liked stuff like Metallica, Iron Maiden, Death Metal. And I had a friend of mine who was infinitely more adventurous than I was. He acquired spiritual healing, an angel of haze, and he basically played my recoil guitar. It was just like, I don't know how anybody can be into this. This is just like, this is crazy. Oh, you really like this? Like, and so I retreated.
You really like this? That's my reaction.
and Justice for All.
That's the same reaction I do.
And spiritual healing was just a little bit easier because it's a third equalizer. Yeah, it was still visually beautiful. It was just as powerful, I think, as the original album Lyrics because it was more, but it was real. The stuff that was happening live
God.
was awful.
Yeah, I just put my personal outlook on certain things in life thinking, I think it means a lot more when you think about something other people can relate to. That's why you don't hear dad thinking about demons flying down and plucking nuns from the earth. That's idiotic.
I always wonder when people do these interviews on the streets and no one ever bothers or rarely ever bothers just look at the camera or stare at it. I guess because they feel they'll get yelled at or stopped or cut or hey, be told, and most people just don't want to be bothered.
James and
God, that guy's hands is fucked up in that picture.
egos a little bit. James is a good friend of mine, but he's a bit quirky.
He was supposed to be a guy. Maybe it was a girl. I don't know.
A little raw. I mean, he'd been building up a thing, so like whole tour, that's it. But unfortunately, James going home with one of the bands that said she was giving us more time to fly home to stay on the tour. Came home for a couple months, and we actually started writing a song for Walt Trash as our sound. We didn't know that we used the sound for us to all the time. Tour from so Walt drove from Texas, stopped by Jim's house. Personal fate was blasting in the studio. Someone was banging. Walt's knocking on the door. Hey, James, it's 20 feet down the line. Music turns off. No one lands the door. So he calls me. Hey, what's up, Chuck? James won't open the door. So he come to my house.
Really dreaded getting on that. And was also going through a period of keeping a personal life going. Because we had such family as well. And at that point in time, we were in a relationship.
It seemed like everything was alright. Chuck is
Litigation, huh?
if he turns his back on something, over time it will go away. A couple tours have been canceled in the past. Same thing. Cancel the tour, lay low for a couple months. So he's we had signed contracts and all this stuff laid out already. Merch was already made. Tax were already hired. There's a lot on the line. So I called the booking agent. The booking agent called, charged
Hmm.
So, hanging out there, unfortunately, I worked about 3 or 4 weeks into the tour. Chuck called. This guy, told him the schedule's a little more clear now. Feel like we can more tour. We're on the tour. Finish. TCI told me not going to work. Yeah. I couldn't understand that. That's my deal. I said, well, contractually, the label, they're too bad. That's just the way it is.
So he said no, they're going to Europe. They signed a contract, no, we don't go. So they go,
There you can fly a while.
and then he wants to go, and they're like, no, you can't. You signed the contract.
That's awesome.
Over in Europe, we're doing this. You have to just sit your ass at home.
And we knew at that point, of course, that okay, we're not in that anymore. We're feeling this tour, this contract now is dead. But obviously, they just talked to us. We'll talk to them. Try to work something out. Just keep moving forward. Have the records shine around where people can say, wow, that's a lot different the way everybody buys out and still be the same. You know what I mean? Have the records.
It's crazy. I mean, I know this is random, but you have this guy who has passed, and yet his voice lives on in this documentary and his music. So, how stuff is carried off even after death. Like any one of us who does YouTube, as long as YouTube's around, as long as the channel's around, when we're gone, this will live on. And it's like you'll sometimes find a YouTube channel, and then you find out, oh, that guy passed away. You go, oh shit, You're watching kind of the ghost of this user. You're watching the ghostly remains of this individual who was doing this stuff. And was it Adam the Woo, who did location videos, and he passed away not too long ago. Or what's the guy's name? Hellsing 920, way back in the day. Army 21, a guy I watched way back in the day who did video game reviews around the same time as Angry Nintendo Nerd, with him became Angry Video Game Nerd.
I'm not even really exactly sure what the reason was. He asked Paul if he thought that they were interested in rep. So when I got the call from Chuck, like, of course, and it was like, well, obviously, it's gonna be interesting. Why? And so to me, that was exciting news. I'm a friend of Chuck, fan of his music, fan of City, and I'm picturing this union. And as the tour progresses, you end up to Milwaukee. Right, he's kind of part of this Milwaukee metal fest.
And headliner was Sepultura, and Orchestra was on that tour, and they were singles. And this dude just walked in, and I just made me immediately.
Congratulations, you're gonna be on the Disney Death Record or something. So I think I found a payphone and called Chuck. He goes, oh yeah, I was gonna ask you.
He had worked on some of the songs for Terry and Split. So some of the material was already written and recorded, like demos of these
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking something up. I mentioned like that one guy, RMA21, one of the first guys I saw on YouTube. One of the inspirations for me to do YouTube, and he passed away at 40. I mean,
that would really establish,
he was born the same year I was, and
he's looking for musicians that are really obviously it comes in with context of what death is supposed to sound like. We're not gonna go in there and play something ridiculous, but as long as it didn't stray too much from the heaviness and the aggressiveness that death should be. Of course, all the little nuances on each instrument were up to us. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. It was my first real, like, legitimate record recording session. I just remember, like, losing sleep, like, the week before that. I mean, we'd been rehearsing this week, my demos. We came pretty prepared in here. We had some time. We used the Cynic warehouse that we ran to work on
and
the
yeah,
matter and everything. So we came pretty prepared. So it was easy to go. We got A, we got tones in one day.
well, I mean, again, with all due respect, I don't know if this story is really that interesting for a documentary. It's just kind of,
6 days left with Charlie.
just seems like kind of typical band stuff, like with any band.
We had written that in rehearsal. We wrote Cosmic Snake in the studio.
Yeah, that's just me. Kind of looking up reviews of this.
I've always been writing my material without a bass player. In some way or some form. So
And yeah, I think this is again, meant for the people who are aficionados of the genre in itself.
but it was almost like polyrhythmic to what the riffs were. And so that opens up this huge gap between the guitar riff and the drums and the bass that just cruise back and forth between everything, between the melody and the rhythm. You know, we spent quite a considerable amount of time on that stuff. So it was a little bit of a disappointment when it was spent there. Because there was a lot of stuff that was matched up pretty good.
So just some of the more negative reviews, just positives as well. You did no real look into who Chuck is or was as a person, what he was like growing up. Just speeds through everything and just says, yeah, did a record, it was intense. I came away this feeling I've gained nothing.
I think that had an influence on other people starting to play at the time. It made them want to
This is
switch
borderline incomprehensible.
or VSD to Georgia. Very few of them, pretty broad, almost this jazz fusion element that keeps them playing, and really kind of fit with metal. It's got a flow that I think is fun.
Runs on fumes after 45 minutes, just defaulting to working through this stuff chronologically makes it a drag. Comes across as one former band saying, yeah, and then I was let go. Then another former member saying, so then I started playing with them. I did the subject matter pretty poorly put together. Could use some heavy polishing. Kind of boring.
The cause of death part, which was the first time I record that I seriously got things for sure death, but I would just like change things. And then a few months later, I ended up getting death. That was the first death record I connected with. Because again, I'm 16 at the time. Death metal was just blowing up. And when I first
You know how boring of a dot you have to make for something of this topic to not be fun for me. So it'd be much more entertaining than it came out to be. Nothing interesting is done in an in-depth way.
it's
To anyone not crazy, I would say knowledgeable on Chuck, the dot is painfully rudimentary, meandering, and confusing to outsiders to this topic.
It's one of the things that I really love about that record that that's been too is that you'll have like more ridiculous and sick just human it's just really if what at the time was on and Sean all and Steve they had
I don't know who the fuck Spiritual Healing or Leprosy is. You throw these names out, and I know they're the bands, but I don't know who the fuck they are either. God, man. Sorry to Ort, I just find this kind of boring, to be honest. If people like your under, that's fine. It'll be more your cup of tea. To me, this is just. I agree with that one review, meandering. It's a good way to put it. Doesn't seem like just anything that unique or substantial, at least to warrant a documentary of its own.
And not water it down necessarily. It's still very much effective. It's just
Because other than for hardcore death fans or heavy metal fans or death metal fans,
Death metal kind of evolved from this weird little thing in the late 80s to one real media outlets like MTV and covering those bands.
We just, like everybody else, thought we have to
God, back in the day of MTV,
went to
when you actually had music television, remember those days? MTV actually had music on the television, and it was music videos or documentaries on musicians or something dealing with music. Then once in a while you have like a little quirky like animated cartoon and liquid television, stuff that really made you go, what the fuck? It was like the hip channel, the channel the kids watch. It's the channel the kids would tune into. And then as time went on, and I mean, especially when YouTube hit, and you just see this stuff on YouTube, just much easier to get for free, on your phone and such. Idea if someone makes a music video, they'll just put it on YouTube now, so there's really no need for MTV. And then it became pretty much the ridiculous channel. Like 10 hours of fucking ridiculousness to a day at least.
Headbangers Ball was
Probably more.
the only opportunity by that time for metal.
Yeah, the Headbaiters Ball.
But it's just, this was it.
Never know, like people move their head like that. I would just get a fucking migraine if I did that. Just doing this. I would feel like my brain is just being juggled around like a suitcase being handled with care, or a UPS package handled with care.
I was managing a band called London.
My head just shook around, have a damn concussion just from banging my head in the air. I was called a head banger, but
So I just
I don't want to have my head banged.
a one camera shoot. One camera. So I played that song. Of course, I have to like at least move most of it. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, in video situations, this is how we do it. We usually just, run through the song about 30, 40 times, individual, we call them ISOs, isolations.
Yeah, if you say so. the fuck's the deal going on with this ladder? And it was like someone's. What the hell happened with?
Here in Kansas,
There's like a ladder nearby, and I don't.
video for lack of comprehension on Headbangers Ball.
Okay, well those it's
I
the
especially
video
like
camera.
Diner. There's a shot where he's playing like this, and he looks like an octopus playing this crazy drum pattern. I was like, whoa, what the heck is that? And for me, being a drummer, it sounded like, Neil Peart crossed with Pete Sandoval. It was just the craziest thing.
But what became striking was the European metal press writing about the fact that Chuck had an inability to follow through with tours, and that became a problem.
I think maybe get the inconvenient stuff out of the way first. Yeah. So okay. So let's talk about the European disaster, right? So why did you go to Europe?
They knew that he had failed towards the end of a tour, and so we're thinking, this guy doesn't want to be out there. And now there's another tour creator, and rumors were that Chuck wasn't going to show. And then when he didn't show, that was it. It was very difficult going back to Europe with Human. Nobody believed that it was going to occur, really.
And all I can do is say I'm looking forward to making it to Europe finally, and I hope people show up and support the music, and that's about it.
I mean, nothing up to that now. Germany, there's a lot of people pissed off, so you gotta really make some more. So, will this band make it to Europe? The last? The show? Yeah? What a drama.
Come back in another life as an acorn. That would suck. Seriously.
And I said to him, okay, so how do you want to work this? And he said, well, I would like to buy everybody new instruments. We'll use the equipment for the North American tour, and then we'll ship it to Europe. I'm like, what? Why do you want to ship it? Because it's our equipment, and I want to work with my own stuff. We'll get transformers so they can be plugged in. What am I supposed to say? I just go, right, it's going to be crazy. And so because we had nothing left, I had to do a deal so that the bus would be fronted by a British promoter who had the British dates. And Paul and I's first tour, we got the bus, the whole thing. We've driven vans.
So was that a power play as to why he wanted his instruments and stuff shipped from the U.S. to Europe, or it really was some kind of coping mechanism thing that he just needed to feel more comfortable
Then
with this
we got
stuff
sick.
in a different country?
The bus, the old French man, and the bus drivers. So we were traveling literally just 40-foot second hand slope axle. And Reiner collapses. He gets very, very sick. That's what we brought to the hospital.
Damn.
And I, being a diabetic and not paying attention to my health, I got sick. Eric had to go to the hospital, and that's when it fell apart. So I stayed, and the idea was I would keep in touch with my phone for venues. Something happened when Chuck got to treatment. When he flipped his lid about the promoter and something relating to the news. By then, of course, he was
Yeah, it really is like, oh, everything's going fine, and then he's an asshole and he fucked up, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Whether it's self-sabotage or however you want to put it.
I remember Bars Are Vogue now signed and supposed to, write and record a record. And it took us like 9 months to get our deal back.
And
Jesus.
gathered the guys together, and somehow they made it back to London.
9 months to get their deer back.
The flights were from London 2 months later, so they had to negotiate their way to get back.
9 months to get their instruments back. Jesus.
Eric, and Eric saying Chuck, and the bus company saying the entity death, and that's where everybody, kind of turned into Lord of the Flies. You know what I mean? Everybody just like didn't know who to trust.
Oh, well, we cut it off 2 weeks early, actually. We did 6 weeks of touring, and then the financial part of things completely fell apart due to people mismanaging our funds, things not being paid, a lot of things. It's a good nightmare financially. Tour-wise is great. The audiences are great. People are really, they accepted things, and it's fantastic on that level. But financially, it's a disaster. You cannot tour without funds. We do not make millions. This is not a big, big, big money-making thing.
Any notion of us sitting at a table and having a discussion before the tour about what we need to do if you want all your gear sent to Europe and not that we don't just rent stuff, all of that went down the drain, and someone had to be blamed, so it was very convenient to blame the manager.
I never had any resolution with Chuck, unfortunately, and I never really had a big fallout with Chuck. Interestingly enough, I had never got the phone call. I got a phone call from Steve Giorgio saying, "Hey, we're in the studio right now and he's playing drums." The only thing I'm upset about is just not hearing it from somebody, what he was doing.
So he was let go and wasn't really told by anybody, or at least not by
I
Chuck.
understand you have a timeline. You're professional. This is your living. I'm not going to be angry. I'll be disappointed. But that's a whole other part of that thing.
No lineup went on to do their band, which they still had together at the time, and they're helping me out. And so they're doing their thing now. That meant I needed to start looking for new people. And luckily, that wasn't a problem. I lucked out and got a hold of Gene, formerly Dark Angel, and called him up, and he was into jamming out. And
That was rather strange. I was in the process of leaving when I got a call from Roy one morning saying, "Hey, man, Chuck is looking for a drummer," and I talked to Chuck later. I brought your name up. Whatever happened, I called Chuck a day later or whatever, and I
Yeah, I did what people were saying too. You don't really get
are you interested? And
you don't really get a handle of who Chuck is and why he really does the things he does. Like, why does he have such a problem going to Europe, and why does he have such a problem with we need this, or I gotta get rid of this guy? Well, do you really need to get rid of that guy? Do you really need to get rid of that fellow band member when it seems like even they don't know why they were let go, or was no communication about it? It just
back jamming again. He's taking time easy.
maybe that just did my somewhat like meandered confusion about this documentary.
Got Andy LaRock from King Diamond coming in and do some lead work. So that was cool.
this is adding a lot. Diamond coming in. This is the man. Chuck had picked the songs he wanted to end the solos on, but instead of sending him the whole song, he just recorded a little segment between the solos. So Andy said he received this tape, and it was just these little blurbs of music.
It's a bit long too. I mean, we still got 45 minutes left of the damn thing. Like shit.
He didn't have the vibe of the song. He didn't really
Goddamn.
So he showed up and said, "Yeah, I listened to the tape, but I didn't really listen to it. I didn't sit down and analyze it. I didn't really put there's things down to, oh no, here we go. This guy comes all the way in too sweet. And it's just, and he was on a schedule for a couple of days. It was really how this comes. I just started from square one. And he just looked over at Chuck and shrugged and said, "Don't worry about it, man.
Okay. Swirling around the guy. This picture of the guy. Trippy. Okay, that was a fun little detail. They show like sparks and you wonder where it's coming from, and it's revealed in the picture that it's where his fingers are strumming the guitar. That was pretty cool. That was a nice little reveal thing.
Me and Chuck are just freaking hair standing up, goosebumping. I'm watching this guy in action. We get to the end of it, and then he's like, kind of laughed, like, "Oh, well, I'm just getting warmed up. Give me another run through. You know, let me do something for real." Scott goes, "Hold on, let me set you up another track, and I'm keeping that." I don't know if he really prepared it home and just kind of played it off, or if that's just what comes out of that guy. But whatever it was awesome because he was knocking his solos out, and not only just playing a cool melodic solo passage in very, very few takes, but as soon as he would finish a take and we all got the nod around the room, like that's it, he would say, "Roll it back to the top and give me another track," and he would double it, note for note, inflection for inflection. It was just nailing what he just did, like in a harmony position or something. It was like, holy crap.
I don't ever try to control what people play. I just say come in, let loose, let the metal flow. That's exactly what happens. It's great to be able to get people that you know that you're friends with and that are really
Think you do with your friends, yeah, the half that you fucking fired or let go or shit.
have that good style, whether you play piano or whatever.
He had made it clear during the recordings, I think he even made an official one, and just went out to lunch. It was something like, "Hey, we've been offered like 2 weeks later, might be available for it. So if that's what we're thinking with that mind." We weren't expected to even record it to go out live, but he said, "You know, I really might be happy with it. I'd love to do it." And we just looked at each other like, "Hell yeah, you know, let's go out and play this material. Just help people get it. You know, it'd be great."
Death will always remain a growing band because I think there's definitely too much of a limit being put on death metal right now with this big rise in satanic stuff and just brutal lyrics for the sake of being brutal rather than putting some thought into it, trying to conquer what people already think of heavy metal and death metal or hard rock in general. So I feel like I want to put a limit on this, and I want to keep continuing to grow as a musician, as a person in life, and to try to get into the music where I
God, even him just like going on and on in his old MTV interviews, like Jesus, man.
The death metal scene in and of itself was for a lot of people really kind of a limiting
I just don't think of death metal as that deep as they do it. It's people go, ah, yeah, 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 you're screaming
stuff ever.
like
And I
they
think he
took a
wants
big old dump
to realize that like
and it hurt.
what have you done? Like you
A
can't
bad
keep
case of diarrhea.
pounding out those
Again,
kinds of
no disrespect to people who are into death
you're
metal.
not you're
No
hurting.
disrespect.
You don't want to.
Just not for me. Not my cup of tea.
So for him,
So just
I
having
feel
fun.
like putting
I
some
apologize for my
kind of
sleepiness.
negatively
I know I was like, who
to
gives a shit?
the idea that he was just a
Just been one of those weeks.
and you saw him
And
do
after
that.
this, I'll probably head to
You know,
bed.
he said it in interviews at the time, but like he would kind of like go against the grain. I think really, in like really I think fun ways, especially with like the t-shirts that he wore. That shirt that he wore in Headbangers Ball interview, where he's got the cats, the little kitties on them, like stuff like that was always like, you know, nobody else would do that. Nobody else had the balls to do that, and it was just basically, it was fun, but I think it was also like, I think it was also kind of a free, you know, like you don't have to be this brutal all the time. And what is the point of it? Like, really, are we all really this brutal all the time? Is this really how life is?
Now, on the other hand, Death went out and like what appears to be like pretty high budget video.
actually busted.
Where did you film the video?
We filmed it actually part of it was outside in natural rain in Florida.
Yeah, like the guy said, he's got a shirt with titties on it.
Warehouse in the middle of Wonderland.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It looks like rainforest or something.
Hey, I like the titties as well, so nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. We're very happy with how it turned out. Definitely.
Oh wow, they got on Beavis and Butthead.
But if you got Beavis and Butthead comment on your video, you will get
That's
more
cool. I
views
didn't
on it.
I didn't know Beavis and Butthead did one of their videos.
And then your goals on YouTube.
And I have the whole collection of.
2 a.m. on the East Coast on a Saturday night.
I mean, it's been forever since I watched through those.
You are if you're watching Beavis and Butthead and you got into the 40 seconds of the death video, that could get an invite.
When spawn out of like a love for music, I don't know. But
Everyone apart, no matter how good the music is.
I mean, it's not being Crowbar. I mean, Crowbar is one of my favorite bands. Or, I mean, it then becomes a part of the mainstream. You have such a popular show like Music Level featuring them, and the fact that Chuck's only real job was in the Del Taco. I think that's class. I think I saw this dude in the burger world once.
Oh god, I forgot about NTV2. That's right.
Suck almost as much as this dude.
Because it's like, well, what do I have other stuff than music? So let's just put the music stuff on MTV2. I don't even know if MTV2 is still around. It might not be around anymore. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead. I'll go on a little bit of Beavis and Butthead. I first saw Beavis and Butthead with the movie. Beavis and Butthead Do America was the first time I saw them. I had heard of them, but at that point, 96 it came out. My family and I, we didn't have cable at that point. It was late 96 or maybe like, I think I want to say maybe early 97. I remember around that we finally got cable. And even then, I don't even know how. I watch MTV from time to time, but there's just so many channels, and I was just like a kid in a candy store and just flipping through, just not even be able to settle down on one channel to watch. So it's like, let's try them all. Yeah, the movie I saw, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Then years later, I would find the episodes. I go, wow, this is actually really funny. Like really smarter than you would think, and a lot more going for it. It's even when they revived it, I thought it was fun. Those episodes and the sequel, Do the Universe, I thought was fun. So. People of the Earth, beware. Is here in human form. An atrocity laced with greed. Filled with evil intentions. Ready to attack.
With a lot of meaning, there was some stuff between the lines. He had a way for him to express himself, and he was honest about stuff. But there's a whole lot more.
Oh my god, man. Got 35 minutes left of this? Really? Jesus Christ. It's like an hour and 12 minutes have gone by, and I don't really feel like I learned much of anything other than Chuck had a tendency of getting bandmates and then letting them go, then getting other ones and letting them go, and not wanting to turn tour Europe and then change his mind and some other thing. I don't mean to dwell, but I can't help myself when I feel the vibe. I taste the memory. No, I don't even have anything to say about that. I'm sorry. Just I'm staying hard to, I'm trying hard to stay awake. To be honest. Oh my god. I'll be honest, part of me is ready to call it, even with half an hour in. Because my god, man, this is just so fucking boring. I know my commentary is boring and my sorry ass is boring, but goddamn, this is a fucking boring documentary. It has not made the subject material that, other than like some of the visuals, like how it was implementing some of the few visuals when transitioning from one talking head to the other. But other than that, man, just I just don't find these interview subjects that fucking interesting. I mean, what's funny is that the last one Orc had me do, like he sent in the paid request, was for a it was like a documentary, but it was a competition on like bodybuilding, but not just bodybuilding, but it was like weightlifting, like Mr. Olympia, and that was more fascinating with how they each person has their own story. And you have like the older guy, more experienced guy. You have the up and comer guy. You have the rivalry, the little bit of suspense intrigue of who's going to win and who's going to win what. God, the fucking Texas heat don't fucking help either. Goddamn. It's like my damn glasses are sweating. How many times I've had to clean these off? Goddamn. That's my eyelids will be sweating. I do thank Ort for the request. I do appreciate his kindness.
You say, yeah, but I don't like to sit on a fuzzy car, so I still wish I could have recorded Chuck actually had like another review, but because clearly he wasn't kind of his usual death metal. He wasn't sticking to stereotype. He wasn't playing with all the usual tropes of death metal. He was ultimately brutal. And I think by the time Symbolic came out, there really wasn't that much great happening with death metal either. So naturally, he wanted to distance himself from that. And again, Chuck just wanted death to be super death metal. That's it. Nothing more else. It's just that he was the stereotype of the band that you know everybody understood.
Right. I mean, exactly. And I think he was really shot along with it. Yeah, I thought he was getting kind of got away on it. He tried to stand as well.
Did you have a favorite type vocalist or vocalist that you grasped Chuck, that was Chuck's action right there. Fucking awesome. I wish I could have to say that too. I wish I had a reason to say it. But it wouldn't be death. The programmer would flip, right? Something that Chuck sang, if they were something to flip, they would flip because they were expecting death. And the fans were expecting death, so it wouldn't connect with Symbolic. So in his mind, he had been, I was just more of a melodic project than just a guitar, different singer. It was just kind of a team effort to listen for. So it wasn't really something that felt like death metal thing that we've done pretty well, like anything ever got up to that. He wanted to say, let's go party. I don't know if that's something that a lot of people realize, but yeah, death was actually really not symbolic terms at that point in time. Chuck's relationship with the original sound. People were very boxed in. It became like really, really stepped on sapphic backwards, like way better than original death metal stuff was recalibrated new stuff. Totally different. And then years later, you're totally different as long as it's exactly the same. There's one little thing like, don't go outside of that. Well, you don't say that to Chuck Schumer. Don't read that. Not working. So were you or about my music to Chuck before was and Symbolic was just coming out at that time. Um, I remember after one show, um, we got the latest whatever huge magazine in Europe it was. The back cover was a Symbolic ad, and it had 4 other albums from 4 different death metal bands. And this is when Chuck was really trying to get away from that tag, flat out. It's what he was trying to do. He wanted to be called death metal, and he called the record label screaming, raging at him, "I told you not to do this. I told you not to do this. Fuck you. I would rather break up my band than work for you anymore." And a few days later, um, I had done something to piss him off, and I had really never done anything to piss him off before, but he got pissed at this, and then the last 10 days of the tour were just absolute misery.
We were touring with the English band Benediction, and we had a night off from the tour. Benediction had a gig that night. It was somewhere in Germany, so we ended up going to the gig. We just parked outside, but we didn't do the gig. Benediction did the gig, So anyway, benediction was like, oh, you gotta come up and play a song. You gotta come up and play a song. It's like, all right, well, whatever. We'll see what happens. Anyway, Chuck stayed on the bus. Brian, bass player Brian, Gene, and I ended up going inside and checking out the benediction gate, and there were like 5 people in there in the audience. Nobody there. There was like literally like 5 fans standing in front of the stage, and then aside from that, it was just the staff that was. So we're just kicking back, having a couple beers, watching the show, and all of a sudden, benediction's like, we're gonna have some musicians in death come up and play a song. So me and Brian are just kind of looking at each other like, okay, what's gonna happen? And Gene started getting up on stage, so it's like, okay, I guess we're on. So we went up and we got up there and we're like, Kakanka, we're standing around. We didn't know what to play. You know what I mean? We're just kind of standing there looking at each other. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It's kind of like, well, come on. He's like, come on, let's play something. I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do? It's like, okay, Chuck's nowhere to be found. I'm like, let's play Zombie Ritual. All right, in front of these 5 German fans, And our sound guy Paul happened to be hanging out there. And who's gonna sing it? I don't know. Who's gonna sing it? Paul, can you sing Zombie Ritual? And Paul's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess. He got up there, grabbed the mic, and plowed through Zombie Ritual. And Paul was up there singing it, just kind of having fun with it. Anyway, we did it, and that was that. We all thought it was harmless. Well, Chuck found out about it. The next day, he kind of sat us all down. He's like, you know what? That was really not cool, disrespectful, and basically, you shouldn't have done that. Very strongly worded, and no one else really said anything, So for whatever reason, I decided to speak up and went Chuck, we really didn't do anything by it. That big of a deal. There was no one in the club. And he's like, you know what, man? He's like, you're conjuring a dick. I'll never forget that phrase. It echoes in my head all the time ever since then, man. You're conjuring a dick. He's like, I set you up, I take care of you guys, and you go out and disrespect me like music like that. It's like, you're conjuring a dick.
The last 10 days were just, they weren't fun.
So it seems like Chuck is like a controlling guy, like very dickish, prickish, controlling guy that's set in his ways, my way or no other way, and not willing or easy to budge. I mean, if you're in a bar and there's like 5 people, it's okay, for these fans, well, for a few of them, we'll play a little bit of a song. That doesn't, like you said, it's harmless. It doesn't hurt anybody. It doesn't. In fact, it helps because if those, nowadays, especially with social media, if those 5 posts, wow, look what they did, and oh wow, that's really cool of them. Maybe I check out one of their albums, or what, maybe I'll look up their stuff on. They have a YouTube channel. Like, good gestures can help promote you, and good word of mouth can spread. This though, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't mean any harm. Then what's the fucking big deal? Oh yeah, what's the big fucking deal then? God damn.
We're all just shooting for singers' birthdays.
When I got the Metal Maniacs in '87, nothing to do. And then suddenly, horrible intriguing.
There's still 19 minutes left of this, man. You know what? When I heard the title, I thought it'd be like some really crazy story about like maybe like this heavy metal band and some deaths occurred and they blamed it on the heavy metal band and it was this kind of controversy and separating the art from reality. I don't know. Pretty much this guy's dick. He fired this guy, then he works with these people together, then they fire another guy.
Headline with Pantera.
And when I heard that, I was like, it can't even be real because the Dynamo Festival is massive. And Dynamo is the third live show I've ever played with a band. About 40,000 people.
Hmm.
Around the time we got to Chile and shows were getting a lot better because we were a lot tighter as a
Hmm.
I thought stressed out. We talked about it a lot. And both of us thought that the issues he was having with tension and stuff because of tension.
Yeah, he told me early on. He told me when he had like a pain in his neck or something. He said that he had asked me if I was familiar with acupuncture, and I was like, no.
Pain in his neck,
He said he
okay.
was going to a chiropractor to fix the pain in his neck. He wasn't doing anything.
I can't remember what they did for him. They probably made some adjustments, which did nothing, obviously. But he went to acupuncturist, and from what I understand, she put one needle in the back of his neck and went like this, and said, "Go get an MRI."
It was on his birthday, and the doctor told him he had a brain tumor. Yeah, I remember that day.
Jesus Christ. On his birthday, he found out he had a brain tumor. Jesus. What a hell of a fucking birthday present. Guess I won't ever complain about a birthday present I got or didn't get because at least I didn't get a fucking brain tumor yet. But damn. That's crazy, man. So, a brain tumor. Man, I know it's a dumb question, but I wonder the the details on what makes one person get a brain tumor and one person doesn't. Like without any outside influences, like head trauma or something, but just you have two people, one gets a brain tumor, one doesn't. What just luck or bad luck with their genetics? I just is like, well, why does one person get Alzheimer's and why does one person not? Why does one person get Parkinson's? Why does one person not? I mean, that's the unfairness of it all. You'd be do everything right or as right as to be, and then that curveball that changes your entire life comes into play, and you just imagine. Just imagine, man. I don't want to imagine.
When Steve flew here, I was showing Steve all of the songs on his bench tracks. When Chuck was actually working on
The hell is this, like fucking post-apocalyptic? Yeah, weird. This weird music video, like a post-apocalyptic guys. Looks like he's going through a winter wonderland, post-apocalyptic, and then you have like paintings and what the fuck? How about being trippy? Trippy.
So after the song's over, lots of connections. I don't know. At some point,
The fuck?
I just felt terrible. This is my friend that's in trouble, really bad trouble, and it's getting worse. And I really would like him to know. I would really like him to know how important he was to me as a human being.
Hmm.
Followed any second.
so much time had gone by from the recording of it, the patching of the bass tracks, and all that, that he was busy writing. And he was ready for the next album right away.
Yeah, right for the next album he never got to do. Man. Got curious about something. 34. Prolonged battle with brain tumor that led to pneumonia. Known as the godfather of death metal. 34, man. That's crazy. 34 years old. 2001. That's just weird. I look at myself, like 34. I've lived getting close to almost 10 years more than this guy, and yeah, he's accomplished a lot more than I have. But I guess, like I say, I was lucky enough to get more years alive, so I just said that's the trade-off. That's how it goes. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, this guy in particular, talking right here, definitely really felt the care he had for the guy come through. I mean, the others care as well, but I definitely felt more from the not this guy, but the previous guy that was talking. Sorry, I forget their names. I'm bad with names. Oh, damn, they were doing this interview while the bar was still going and working. Who's this guy in the back, like, trying to get a little bit on camera, kind of going like this? Damn, excuse me. That was my body asking that question too. Who the hell is that? Behind the girl walking by. Is I'm going to get myself in this documentary one way or another.
About dosing it, and they agreed to take the risk as a last-ditch effort to save his life.
Mm.
So when we got back to Florida, he could barely walk, and we went right into a hospital. And
So, last ditch effort, experimental bit of business. Sadly, obviously, it did not work. I mean, I guess it was worth the try. I mean, if you don't die anyway, I guess it was worth the try. Mm. Mm. I was going through his baby pictures, kid pictures. Mm. Life's too short for anybody and everybody. Life's just too short for everybody. Oh, the doggy. Look at the doggy. Yeah, he's probably dead too. Fucking depressing. There's another dog, and that's probably dead too. I mean, we're getting to the end of this. There's only like less than 2 minutes left. I'm sure you know the document. I'm sure the documentary means well for people who are into death metal music. The Godfather death metal, to hear from his bandmates a little bit about him, to see this footage of being on stage. Credit to the fans and the family members and the friends who sadly had this loss, and to see a little bit behind the scenes. I mean, again, what I got of it was that the guy was a bit controlling, had to be his way and his way alone, and he went through a lot of band members. You hire, then you fire, then you hire, then you fire, then you hire. And it seemed like a lot of it was like going to Europe. It's like, maybe don't go to Europe anymore. Seems to be where the shit really hits the fan when you go to Europe. Just stay in the U.S. or go to, I don't know, Japan or Australia or something. Canada. I mean, maybe that helped with that, a lot less firings. But hey, rest in peace to Chuck. Guess now.
The early brutal stuff, and I don't really care about the progressive stuff. But to say Death wasn't a death metal band up until the end is just silly.
To say that Death wasn't a death metal band, I didn't know people. I believe you, dude. I believe you. Don't. I don't get any tip back from me. So, at the end of the day, thank you, Orc. I apologize for all the fuck ups. Me having low energy, not having much to say. I'm on other stuff. Like I said, I didn't grow with death metal. I didn't listen to the music. I didn't know who the guy was. The stories just didn't seem that interesting. It felt like just meandered. Or sometimes felt like I was hearing the same story over and over again. They went over there to Europe, whatever. Things fucked up. He fired someone, hired someone, fired someone, hired someone. And I mean, the story that stuck out was the guy, some of the members played for 5 people in a bar, and Chuck got pissed about that. So I said, I can't even sit here and say I knew anything about Chuck. Like, what really made him tick? What really made him this way? I don't know. But thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Orc. Appreciate your kindness and your generosity. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.